Hey guys, so I'm gonna switch it up a little bit. This will be day one of driving for Uber, and I did one ride, and that's probably all I'm about to do, just because of being actually at work and then having something to do later on. I actually don't have time to go and do any other rides, but let's go over day one. So finally got approved for Uber. Everything was kind of cool, very easy setup. Didn't really go over much of like what to do. Everyone that I read reviews from say like they go over everything for you and like all this stuff, and obviously no, they didn't. Not for me. They did not do anything. He just said, oh, you're gonna get an email and it's gonna explain everything what to do, and there you go. You just go get your car inspected outside and you're done. So I'm like, okay, that's cool. So I'll do that. Got the car inspected, waited, background check, all that stuff, just waiting for everything to get done. And it came back finally today saying that it's approved. So I was like, cool, let me go do it. And so I went to go do it, and I went earlier and I drove for Lyft. Didn't really get anything. But then again, during the day out here, when people are working, it's really slow. Well, at least for me, it's slow. And I don't hit up the Strip. I don't hit up downtown. I just try to avoid that area for right now until I feel comfortable and I see how it all works out. So I figured after a while after work, I would go try Uber, see if I can get a ride. When I went around and stuff around the area, I figure I would try without trying to avoid going downtown and stuff like that. So then finally, all of a sudden, as I'm going back to the shop, I finally get one. I was like, oh my god, yes, I got one, yeah! And guess what? I get to go to the Strip. What better way than to be like, sorry, you can't avoid the Strip forever. You're gonna have to take someone eventually down to the Strip. And thank goodness it was Circus, easiest one to go through. They don't seem as strict when it comes to policies, but I gotta read up on the policies on Lyft and see how that all works out so I can at least figure it out from there. But anywho, girl was really nice. There was no complaints. I guess there was a little issue in the beginning. Apparently when I was at the house waiting and she finally got in my car, I get a call as she's coming in. I ignore it because obviously I don't know the number, and if obviously I'm working trying to do something and I don't recognize the number, I'm not going to answer it. So then she gets in my car. I'm like, okay, where am I going? Just to double check. Finally see it. So I'm like, okay, cool. That's where I'm going. And then all of a sudden it calls again, and I'm like, okay, now I just got to turn off my ringer because that's kind of rude. I was like, I shouldn't be accepting calls. She's with me in the car. There's no reason I'm getting calls. Well, anyhow, then all of a sudden I get a text message saying like, hey, you're leaving and you're not gonna pick up. And I was confused of who that was, and I'm like, what did I don't understand. So then all of a sudden I put a question mark trying to figure out, wait, what? And then they're like, oh, sorry, never mind. I'm like, who is this? Trying to figure out, is it something regarding me? Is it regarding something else? I'm not sure. Like, who is it? And they're like, oh, no, you picked up my girlfriend. But never mind. Like, it's just my girlfriend was taking the Uber or something like that. And so I was like, oh, okay. So I asked her, I was like, is that your boyfriend? Because I was just confused by the whole thing, and she said, oh yes, that was him. And I'm like, oh, okay, that makes more sense. Like, okay, now I figured it out. And she just kind of laughed, and I mean, the ride was quiet. I have music playing on in the background just to kind of like, so it's not too quiet, because when I think of it's too quiet, I think of taxi cabs, and I don't think anyone wants to think of a taxi cab while they're taking an Uber or a Lyft drive. But anyhow, so got that going on, keeping it chill, all that fun stuff. And I just, took her where she needed to go, dropped her off. Sucky thing about taking or driving in general, especially for like Lyft, Uber, or like just friend or whatever, is really just driving through rush hour on this trip. It is one of the worst things ever because people don't know how to drive. They feel like they need to stop, and when a light turns green, they have to sit there for like ever and just crawl through the light when you have the clear to go through. So I don't understand. So far for first day for Uber, so far good. So far, so good. I can't complain. Just so you guys know, once again, I have a car windshield mount for my phone, so obviously I don't have to touch my phone or really hold my phone or anything like that. So with the hands, yay! Anywho, I will continue these lovely journeys of each day with driving. Hopefully tomorrow I will drive a little bit more. If it's during the day, if work's slow, I might drive for Uber. See how much I can get from there. If it's in the evening, then obviously it's gonna be for Lyft, because I think I feel better doing Lyft in the evening, and then doing Uber at night. So, see you later, guys.